it wasn't my running that was on the line, right? It was my worth.
Welcome to Now What, a bold, honest podcast about reinvention in midlife where inspiration meets real life humor. I'm Melissa, and if you've felt the shift and wondered what's next, you're not behind. You're just getting started. Here, we laugh, we go there, and you will leave thinking, okay, I can do this. Because midlife isn't a crisis, it's a plot twist. Let's go. Bod, she is back. She is the author of You Are Not the Problem and a somatic practitioner who has built her life's work around one very powerful idea, that you are not broken and your patterns actually make sense. She was here back in March on episode 58, where I took 47 mental notes, and plot twist, I am still finding them. So today we get the update. Squad, please join me in welcoming back to Now What, Lori Montry.
Mm. Yes, woohoo is right. I'm so excited to be back here. I started missing you and the show. Like as soon as we wrapped up, I was like, oh man, that was so much fun. So I just really appreciate you having me back on.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. No, after our interview, I feel the same way. Like it just was such, first of all, your honesty, your vulnerability was huge. I mean, it was, we had some laughs, but it's some serious, serious stuff.
Yeah,
And I'm just so excited because when you were last here, your book had not launched yet.
that's right. Yeah,
And now it is out in the world.
it sure is.
So,
Yeah.
uh, how's it been? I mean, I have like so many questions. I'm so excited. How has it been? You have birthed your baby and the
Yeah.
world has seen it.
Right? Yeah, it's been amazing. It's something, you can't really plan for. It's kind of like, a big event like a wedding or a baby where you're anticipating what's it going to be like and all of that. And then it comes and you're like, holy cow, I had no idea it was going to be like this, right? It was,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
everything has gone, as well as can be expected. I will also say it's one of the most stressful things that I've ever done, even though I didn't anticipate that it was gonna be particularly stressful, but it
Stressful in
really
what way? Like emotionally, physically, like you have to be everywhere, like, promoting, or what do you mean?
yeah, and I wish I could tell you exactly
Mm.
what I mean by that. I think it was all of those things. And, the reason why I reached back out and wanted to come back on the show was because when I was here in March, the book had not gone out, and I was also, we talked about the fact that we have big athletic goals in our lives in addition to our work. And I was training for the Colorado Senior Games at the time.
Yes,
And
yes.
and
We're
I
talking
reached,
Olympics, people. We're
yeah,
talking Olympics, not just a local race.
yeah, and so I was holding both of these things. I was training, and I was planning for the book launch, and I put them in 2 separate containers. One was my physical, with the race and what I was gonna ask of my body, and the other was the book launch, which was what I was, doing intellectually, the things that I needed to think about and perform on an intellectual level. And I just wanted them to be in their separate containers and go about my business. And a funny thing happened on the way to these life events. I kind of crashed.
Ooh, in what way? Like explain.
Yeah. So man, when we talked last, I was rolling. I was having the best workouts that I have had in probably 30 years. I
Mm.
was so excited for my race and everything. And as the book launch got closer and everything was kind of coming up at once, I started waking up in the morning and my oral ring was like, you should just stay in bed today. My heart rate was up and my temperature, like all of my metrics were
Right.
off and I had no energy. And I'm like, oh man, what is
That.
going on
Right.
here?
Right.
I've got things to do.
Right.
And
I
I'm
don't have time for this
I
Aura
do
ring.
for
Get it
this.
together.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I'm nervous to get an Aura ring, I almost, and this isn't great. Ignorance is bliss sometimes for me, but that's not great either. So, okay, so continue. So your Aura ring is like red alert, red alert.
Yeah, yeah, literally. If I'm normally in the, mid to high 80s, even in the 90s sometimes, we're talking 60s, 60s, maybe 70s. And so here I am, thinking about these amazing goals that I have for myself. And I really can't do the things that I wanted to.
Mm.
So, the first thing I did is found somebody to help support me. I found a trainer, and working with people like you, people who really know their stuff. It's important because there's so much that we miss. Even though I have so much knowledge about the body and my own training and blah blah blah, she had to set me straight in some really important ways. And she said, "So, here you got all these things going. What's your priority?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I just told you my priorities." She said, "No, what's your priority?" That's singular, right? That means the one thing that you want the most right now. And it was like she just hit me with a 2 by 4. I'm like, I wanted to hang up on her. I'm like, just
Right.
be quiet and tell me how to get back what I want. Okay. I felt
That's
like
a good
a
coach,
child.
though. Found a great coach, and it's like my training coach. And she always says there's too much oh, what's the term she says? Not friend coach, cheerleading coaching. I'm all for a good
Mm,
cheerlead and pump up, I'm sure you won't surprise you. However, we are hiring trainers, whatever aspect of your life. It could be a coach for public speaking, it could be
mhm.
whatever. I always say I can be mediocre or stay the same for free.
Right.
Right? I am paying someone to, because I know when I give up on myself, like I could do a few more reps. But I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
No, so I can do that for free. I'm paying someone to be like, "You got more in you, lady.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
go." Okay, so I get this. So you wanna hang up on her because she's really pulling up a mirror. She's not being mean, but she's saying, "Let's get super clear."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what did
Yeah.
you say?
And, I've known this woman for 30 years, so she's a friend as well. And yeah, so I that was a good thing because I really, I trust her and I know that she
Right.
cares about me. So it made it a little
Right.
bit harder for me to just dismiss her and move on, but she was asking me to make choices. And
Mm.
I didn't want to make choices. And my problem is I I didn't need someone to say, "Do one more rep." I needed someone to say, "You're doing 10 reps too many, and you have
Ah.
to decide how you wanna spend this." I was severely overtrained, and I knew it because I had to go through you should have seen what I had to go through to get myself out the door, and that's a really good indicator for me that
Wait,
I'm
what do you mean?
overtrained.
Like just when you say what you had to do to get out the door, like just emotionally, like you were just exhausted, just
Yeah. I did not wanna go. And I would be, I'd be like, "Oh, I should stretch for 10 more minutes. I should oh, the clothes are dry. I should take them out first." Like, I didn't wanna go out. And of course not, because my body was telling me, "Girl, there's not enough there for you to do this." So, but I was just having such a hard time pulling back. And that was one of the incredible lessons that I learned in this process. But she really held me to the fire and said, "You don't get to do everything at the highest level. You have to choose." And that's okay, right?
yeah,
You can choose one thing or you can choose to do these 3 things really amazing. Like, because I also didn't wanna lose any muscle. So I'm
right.
like, muscle is a priority. Oh, I had 4 things.
Oh, yeah.
Muscle is a priority, and I wanna run the fastest I've ever run, and I want this book launch, and, oh, by the way, don't ask me to gain any weight in the muscle preservation either. So I'm sure she was probably good thing we were on the phone because she was curly like with her hands around, pretending, she had her hands around my neck or something like, girl, what are you? But I didn't want to give up on anything. I want what I want. And I want it right now.
But that's I think so many people can relate to that. Again, what fill in the blank of what your thing is, whether it's train. Well, so did you back off of training for the Olympics right now? I mean, here's another thing I'm learning. Just because it doesn't happen all now doesn't mean it's never going to happen, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that have you put that postponed that for another date, or did you just readjust and you're still doing both book launch?
Yeah. Well, let's get there. I don't want to ruin the surprise yet.
Oh, okay, okay, I love it. So, actually, that's a great point because I do wanna back up. So, for those first of all, I suggest that everyone go back and listen to episode 58, but for those listening right now, give us give us the if you can, I mean, you guys, you have to buy this book. There's just it's so many nuggets and life lessons. Like, I was just so, like, inspired after speaking with you. Um, but can you give us a quick version of what "You Are Not the Problem" is? So people
Yeah.
understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. So you're not the problem. There's a lot of different ways to describe it. And it's a big topic, right? But basically, the book is my own journey out of survival mode and the
Mhm.
tools and the practices that can help others get there too.
Yes, and I mean, have was re-listened, went through my old notes, like, I had so many aha moments, like, you touch on adaptations and how adaptations happen to everyone. Can you just talk briefly about examples of what those are? Because I really didn't understand if you had said, "Oh, that's an adaptation," I was, "Okay," but not really
Yeah.
understanding what
Yeah.
it was.
Right. Yeah. And the adaptation piece is so important. It is the kind of the thread that runs through the whole book. But each one of us, based on our early experiences and our circumstances, adapted, because that's what we do as humans. So we adapted in the way of thinking. So the thought patterns that we formed. I personally, because of my experiences, I developed beliefs such as I'm a burden, that I have to be perfect in order to be allowed to exist on the planet. That it was everything was my fault, right? And if I could just fix myself and be perfect enough and achieve enough, then I'd be okay. We also develop patterns of the nervous system. So I developed patterns such as hypervigilance. Where's the next threat coming from? Always being on edge. And also shutdown. When I was challenged in any way, I would shut down. That was my protection, right? And we also develop adaptive behaviors that help us survive and get through. So for me, that was emotional eating and achievement. And we all have them, and there's none of us that escape them because that's just part of being a human. It's not that all of our adaptations are always harmful, right? Some of them are good.
Correct.
But we reach a point in our lives where we get to look back at our adaptations and say, which ones are serving me and which ones are hurting me? Which ones are causing me, the pain and the struggle in my life right now? And the book is about how we can adapt again, this time towards our wholeness and our truth, our authenticity, which has been covered up in so many cases by those adaptations. And it's a lot easier when you understand exactly what's going on and what you really need, the conditions that you need to be able to adapt again. And that's really the book in a nutshell.
No, it's spectacular, and another thing that stuck out at me was your ability to reframe things
Mm.
was mind blowing. Like, it really made me think in my own life, "Okay, wait, how can I reframe this?" The one thing that said you said your numbness, because you had become numb to things.
Yeah.
Your numbness wasn't weakness. It was just your nervous system trying to save you.
Yeah.
And it's like just switching that. It just that point, and I just I highlighted that again because it was just so like, "Whoa."
Right.
Like, let's use this. None of us can change what happened in our past.
Mhm.
Good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. But how we have the power to reframe. And so I just think that is such a powerful tool for us all to continue working on. It's hard.
It really is. Yeah, because we were taught the way to safety or the way for us to overcome these undesirable things about us, right? Was to hate them and shove them into the
Yes.
ground and block them away.
Right. And
Yeah,
hide from them and block them. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. Yes.
Um,
Totally.
but in reality, they're all, and we could say, brilliant adaptations, right? They formed for a reason and a really good one. And when we can meet them and bring in, we kind of replace what they were intended to do, we don't need them anymore. And then they just leave on their own instead of fighting against them. Fighting against them will never work. And all of us have plenty of evidence in our lives that that's true.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is there, and let's also explain briefly, this is book one
Mhm.
of what's still going to be a 3-book series, correct?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay. So I can't even imagine what the next 2 books are because this one was just so meaty. I'm like, oh my gosh. Um,
Yeah.
Now you also mentioned that I want to do a review. Is you created the freedom formula.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Can you do a brief overview? And then I want to hear how are people responding to this now that it's
Mm.
out in the world?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So the real framework here is book 1 is the foundation. It is for us to understand our patterns and to help bring safety, capacity, and energy into our being, into our resources here, so that we can build everything else we want. That's book 1, and we really, that serves as like the solid concrete foundation of the
yeah.
house that we're building here. And we need to start there. We don't start at the level of, I need to change everything about me. We start with creating those internal conditions that make change possible. And that's what book 1 is. It really helps people understand those patterns and bring safety back to the nervous system. And with that in place, we move on to step 2, book 2, which is becoming who you really are. So
Mhm.
now that we understand these adaptations, we get to ask the question, well, if I'm not all that, what the hell am I? Who am I? Right. And that can be a really challenging question when you have lived and based your entire existence on, being the people pleaser or the helper or the overachiever or, all of these things. You may come to that question and say, I have no idea. And that was the case for me. I didn't even know to ask.
Right. And you had said you guys you read her book and you on paper 4.0 student, top law school. I mean, married, 6 kids, super, functioning, super
Yeah.
successful. So it's not, you can't assume that on the outside or what's on paper
Mhm.
means no one has any issue. We all do. We all
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. There's another for all of us, it's a spectrum. So it may be for
Yes.
one person that they have no idea who they really are. And then it might be for another person that, it's just like maybe one area of life, maybe in their relationships or maybe in their business or in their health or something.
Yes.
But it impacts all of us because of course we've taken on and put on the masks that helped us navigate earlier life circumstances. So book 2 is I think it's my favorite. I mean, they're all so essential. You can't have one without the other because they work together. But
Yes.
discovering who you are for me was so, oh my gosh, it was like being born again, right? It was like this chance to come into the world and be a whole new person.
How did you change? I mean, you've lived this, but did you see a change of what happened to you internally when you started writing the books versus are all 3 books written? I can't remember. Are they all? or you're still in the process of writing 2 and 3?
Yeah, I've moved on to 2 now, and
Yeah,
so
you
yeah,
okay, so you're currently writing 2.
yes.
Okay, so your
It's in
current
1,000 pieces right now, that's been collecting over a long period of time.
well, my god, but give yourself I mean, you wrote a book. You're
Yeah.
writing 3 books, that's a big deal. So, from the can you think back from when you first started writing book 1 to when you like, "Okay, signed, sealed, delivered."
Mhm.
Um, did you, find something new about yourself during that process of writing the book that you totally did not expect?
Yeah. Um, I don't know that it was, like, totally not expected, but so many times during the process, I had to step back and say to myself, "Holy crap." Like, I am literally writing about this tool right now that I've been using and teaching, and I need it so bad right now.
What?
Like, oh,
Because
yeah.
you're living it. Isn't that funny, though? I think things like that happen for a
I
reason.
mean, the tools are not do this and then you never need them again. The
Oh,
tools are your ongoing, right? This is your tool belt that it's not like we're never going to have, you said the refrigerator repairman is there today. We are never going to not need repairs and touch ups but all the things. So it's not about fixing yourself so everything is perfect. It's about building the tool belt that you will use to take you through life securely and make life so much more navigable than when you don't know how to do it for yourself. So yeah, and I'm talking about the way I'm using the tools all the time. Yeah.
I love that you said that, and also it ties into and we talked about this last time too, with sport and athletics, like, once you like, training for a race or I trained for this competition, it doesn't end once you cross the finish line.
Yeah.
Right? You just now then have a new ground zero, and
Mm,
then you build from that, and you build and you go to one step this is what I'm really learning, like, one day I can go in and I feel super strong, and then the next week, I'm trying to lift more than I did last week, and I have to go back to lighten up 10 pounds,
yeah.
right? And so it's very humbling, so I do think and I cannot wait to get to the grand finale of your
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
with your training. um, it is such a good life lesson. It's never just an upward climb, sunny days. It's up, down, sideways, around, blah, blah, blah. But you keep going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
armoring yourself with the tools that you teach us in this book,
Mhm.
it's for life.
It's for life.
Yeah.
And I would say more than armoring ourselves, I would say resourcing ourselves because, we've all had the experience in the past where we were able to discipline and willpower ourselves into something and then it fell apart.
Yes. Yes. You
Yeah.
can't rely on motivation, even though my Instagram is motivate with Melissa. You gotta build that muscle. I just
Yeah.
looked at someone my friend the other day, she goes, "How do you want to go to the gym all the time?" I said, "I don't." Do you know, like, 90 no, 90, 85% of the time, there are 20,000,000 other things that kinda I'm like, "I should be doing this, I should wanna be doing this," but I built that muscle where I know I'm just happier if I go. I said,
Mhm.
You can't rely on your feeling. You
Yeah.
gotta create that muscle, train that muscle and just
Absolutely.
do it."
And when you've trained it, then you're not sitting there saying to yourself, "Oh my gosh, it's so precarious. I'm right on the edge of everything falling apart." You're like, "I'm solid. have
Yes.
what I need,
Yes,
no
and
matter
that
what life throws at me."
yes. Yes, that is so true because at different times in your life too, I just love the tool belt analogy. You reach for different tools too. It's not a one size fits all.
Right? Yeah. A handyman doesn't show up to fix your whatever with a screwdriver only.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so going back to what has been the feedback, is there one, um, certain thing that you have seen that readers are really latching onto, or is it just, you know, all different things, nuggets that they're grabbing and that is really resonating with them?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's been my favorite part of this journey is receiving feedback and hearing from people. And for me, it was a little bit, I don't say scary, but a little bit unknown because I know I was getting feedback, obviously, from my clients over the years. I could see that this was, working for them. I know that it will work for my life, but I was a little bit nervous that will this translate to the man on the street? Will this make sense to somebody who really doesn't have much of a background in somatics or nervous system, etc.? And I got my first indication and my first real victory the night of the book launch. It was a live event. And I had every single person in the building. And when I say every single person, I mean the wait staff and the security guards. I mean, everybody who was involved came to the book table and got a book or multiple books because after hearing the message and what it was, everyone recognizes, I need this, whether it's somebody, gosh, I've lived with all this insecurity, or I have trauma that I don't feel like I have fully been able to process, or I realize how much my body is holding on, even though I've done so much mental work, whatever. And one woman told me, she said, I was on a drive on my way here tonight. I had no idea what event I was coming to work at. And I was having a conversation with myself about literally everything that you were talking about on the stage. And
I
she,
just got
and
goosebumps.
we were both like, oh my God. We were both like really moved by, how this found each other. And in the signing, she said, make it to Lala. That's my real name. And just that owning of herself and the permission, like, yes, I can own myself. It's safe to own myself. That was probably, the real start and just the biggest win that I could have, knowing that, yeah, people get it. They understand what this book is about. Since then I've heard from a woman whose son died in a gun accident at a friend's house 12 years ago, and just a little guy, 7 years old, and the impact that it's having on her unresolved trauma from, 12 years ago. And it's just, that's, I can't tell you the joy that I feel knowing, yes, this is why it had to be done. This is why, I stayed up late every night for a year. This is why I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day to get this out there. So it has been just, whatever happens with it, I'm just so happy.
Ugh, I'm so happy for you. I mean, I literally have goosebumps. And again, just your turning your trauma, and everyone has experienced trauma at different levels, but turning into such a positive tool. And I think just the bravery of sharing it,
Yeah.
people will see and learn, like, look, you're still standing. And
Well, I'm
had
more than
you're more
standing.
than standing. And have
Yeah.
you been
Yeah.
surprised that by being that vulnerable, like the positivity that you've received has just made it all the better for you and made you even feel safer almost to share such a vulnerable story.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have shared every single thing about yourself, you're not worried about anybody finding anything out, right?
It's like having birth in the middle of, like, Times Square. I mean, literally by time I mean, I can only at this point, I have 3 kids, and so the first one, no one was out in the room except my husband.
Right, right.
Baby number 2, my mom had asked if she could be in. Okay, fine, great. Baby number 3, I had my dad who was in a corner, but I had my dad, my mom, my friend. I mean, like, literally, it was like, at this point, join the party. Like,
Right? Yeah. I always say that after,
join
whatever the case, I'm like, look, I've had 6 kids.
yeah,
What could you
yeah.
possibly, yeah.
How is actually, how has your family reacted to all of this?
They have been, oh my gosh, they have been literally amazing. They were my team that night for the book
Oh.
launch, and they just came in and they took care of everything. And they got to see a different side of me because even though they know what I do and all of that, they really got to be there with people. I had clients come from around the country to come and speak at the launch, and so they got to meet them, and it kind of made it real, I think, for them. That night, my daughter sent me a text after we had gone to bed, and just thanking me for being this role model, stuff that I didn't know was in her heart, and it was just really lovely to be able to share with them the work that I do on that level. They've been fantastic.
Is
Just
there no better gift than getting those notes from your kids?
yeah. Yeah,
Like, there's
no,
what
no,
is
there
the
couldn't be.
age range? Age range.
My oldest is 25, and,
Okay.
our youngest is 10.
Okay, so, I mean, wow. That is spectacular. Okay, so in midlife going back to adaptations, do you feel like are there certain for midlife for us midlifers, um, or people who are reading the book coming forward, are there adaptations that show up the most? And why is this actually the perfect what do you say to someone that this is the time to address them?
Yeah, I think there's so much about our midlife years. One that I've found out a few years ago and was just so thrilled to find out that our hormones are
Oh.
actually supporting us figuring out who we are and honoring ourselves more.
I had to pause. There you go with the reframe again. Did you notice how I am like, you say hormones, I have to just pause. And I immediately go to the negative. I'm like, oh, hormones, blah, blah, blah. Because I literally just met with a doctor the other day about it. And you do the beautiful reframe of it's just telling us where we are. Lori, we need more of that. This is why everyone needs to read this book. It just, I, I'm laughing so hard right now.
Oh, it's
You
true.
heard me just go, are you like, there she again.
I'm like, "Wait, wait, wait, there's more." No, but, the way that our hormones, right, the estrogen is going down, and that makes us, honestly,
Crazy.
care a little
Oh,
less about everyone like, think about what that estrogen
oh,
did for us. It helped us be those mothers who were like, "What do you need? What do you need? Oh, okay, I'll do that right away." Right? And then meanwhile, putting ourselves on the back burner that has ever existed, right? And so as those hormones change, we actually, have less of the need or the drive to serve everyone else. And we can
okay.
turn that inward now and care about more about and pay more attention and have more of our resources to ourselves.
Okay, we need to pause on that because Lori, is it literally tied to hormones? Because I have been feeling so guilty. Like, not that I'm checked out, but also I have my two oldest are in college.
Yeah.
It's time for them to figure stuff out on their own. My daughter, well, is now going to be a senior in high school. And I mean, I still want to be a part of everything, obviously, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's not that I don't care as much, but is it I just worry less, and so I just feel kinda like, "Oh, okay, it's all good," but why do I feel almost guilty about that?
Yeah. Well, there's two things happening. One is kind of this hormonal shift, right? That's giving you more permission. You're not as outwardly focused. But then you have maybe an adaptation around who you should be as a mother, what a good mother does. And so that gives you the opportunity to say, oh, you don't have to judge it. You don't have to say, no, that's wrong. You get to just look at it and you get to say, what do I believe about about being a mother? Where did I learn that? Is that my truth? Is that coming from my authentic self, or is that coming from kind of what was offered me and I took on because I thought I needed to, right? And there's no right or wrong answers here. You can walk away with any answer you want as long as it's authentic to you. That's what we really care about, right?
Oh my gosh, and also, I think and it's, one of the reasons I created this podcast and named it, like, "Now What?" For
Yeah.
someone like myself who, gave up a career, stayed at home even if you're still working, as the kids, as you become free birds, as my friend will do a more positive spin, free birds, not empty nesters. It's like a lot of us, and I feel like especially women, don't know what our role is anymore.
Yeah.
So it's also navigating that where things are changing and we're trying to figure out, okay, what is my purpose now?
Yeah. Now what? Yeah.
Now what? That's literally, I think I've told you I
Yeah.
want his name now WTF, but I'm like,
Yeah.
"Eh."
Yeah.
But literally that's like how I
Yeah.
feel like, now what do I do?
Yeah. And that's where this work comes in so beautifully to figure out like what is my true identity? I know
Yeah.
what it was kind of by necessity. But who am I really? And not to just replace, right? So if you've been kind of, which a lot of us do, we base our value or our sense of worth like what I do for others.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the it even gosh, I used to work at Microsoft and the whole thing was like, "Oh, how late were you on mail last night?" That
Yeah.
meant working on
Totally.
email. "Oh my
Mhm.
god, I was sent that email," like, it was this thing. It was like it determined how devoted you were to your job, what a hard worker you were if,
Yeah.
you're up all hours of the night on mail.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Meanwhile,
a
you're
little bit
destroying yourself, and then you're at work,
yeah.
and you're a zombie, and you're probably making really stupid decisions because 'cause you're exhausted.
Course, of course. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that when I was a new associate working at the law firm, I would not let myself leave until everyone else on the floor had left for
Mm.
that very reason. I needed to prove myself. Like they wouldn't like me just, giving reasonable effort, right? It was my thinking. They're not gonna, I'm not, I have to really prove myself. And so that's I'm gonna be here longer than anybody else.
That's changing a little bit, or well, that's what you're here for is to help the movement, help it change.
Yeah, for us to realize, yeah, who we can be when we're honoring our capacity. And we're going to talk about that again, I'm sure. But absolutely, I hope so. I hope so. But it's kind of, sometimes we feel like it's an all or nothing kind of thing. Like I might have to reject that whole line of work or that whole my dreams because too much will be asked of me or it's a dog eat dog world or whatever, right? And so we
Yeah.
choose one or the other. And I don't think we have to.
No, I'm definitely an all or nothing, and that's something I've been really working on,
Mm.
um, is it's not necessarily or, it's the word and.
Yeah.
A mom and I have a podcast. I'm a mom and I'm going to prance on stage bikini in a
Right.
bodybuilding competition,
Right.
which circling back, I am dying to know what happened. So you're talking to your trainer.
I'm fighting with my trainer.
You're fighting.
I'm like, just be quiet and tell me how to do what I want. Okay. And it wasn't in our initial conversation where I started to soften a little bit. She's, explaining about how, the body work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, she doesn't know I'm the one person that none of this applies to. I
I think so many you're not alone. So many people are like this. Okay, this is fantastic. Go ahead. Continue.
Right? Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm riding my high horse over here. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. This was wasted money. Like, I'm like my own worst client nightmare here. But, over the course of, I could see right away, like, oh, wow, there's some old stuff coming up here. There's some old belief systems and operating systems that you are running right now that are showing up in this experience of, trying to go to the what I call the Senior Olympics. It's actually the National Senior Games, but I'm calling it the
Yeah,
Olympics.
we're calling it the Olympics. It's a big freaking deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I
Running, correct? It's for running.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, the event itself is for all kinds of things.
Right,
It's
right. But you're
literally like just
it's
yeah.
beyond it. Yeah.
I was going for running, but
Correct.
they have just tons of events. And so over the course of, a couple of weeks, I really had to dig deep and understand why I was operating under the beliefs that I was holding and why it was so important to me. and what was really true here, you know? And I had to give myself the permission to not be perfect
Mm.
in every area that I was trying to be perfect in. And I learned so much. And actually I thought about when the crash happened and all of that, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably I mean, if you could see the difference in my workouts, it was it was dramatic. I couldn't. I was pushing, I was using the same effort, but I was not getting the result, the at all, right? So I thought about not going because I thought to myself, I'm going to be really embarrassed.
Mm.
If I show up there and run the way that my training is right now, I'm gonna be really embarrassed. I wanted to, like, make a sign that or get a T-shirt made that said, "I'm usually much faster,"
Oh.
something to save face.
Mm.
And when I, working with myself and, doing the things that I'm doing and understanding, I was like, "Wow, you know what? I am doing that same thing I used to do when I was in my, late teens and 20s." I am telling myself, "You're not allowed here unless you are the superstar.
Perfect.
Don't even bother. You
Yeah.
don't get to play
Yes.
unless you're." And I felt so much compassion for that
Oh.
young version of me who was held back from things, who was shamed, who was all these things by me.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right.
She
Right.
was she was not enough, and that's when I decided, "Sweetheart, this is gonna be hard. It is gonna be hard to go. It's gonna be hard to, to let go of what you had hoped to be able to achieve there." And, that was when I reached out and scheduled the podcast because I wanted it for the accountability of actually going through with it, and not just showing up and saying, "Oh, yeah, I didn't do it." Right? And so I wanted to give myself that opportunity and for me to be able to show up not perfect,
Yeah.
not, as trained as I could possibly be, but someone who is real, someone who went through a crash and found her way back, to the extent that she could, and to honor that and to let her play and have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So we did do it. It was this last Saturday.
Oh, oh, so it just happened. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
it
that was
just happened.
you did it.
I
Woohoo!
did it.
Oh my God.
I'm showing you the gold medal.
You got the gold.
I won gold.
You won gold and you weren't even possibly going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
What lesson did
And
that
what a lesson is
Oh,
that, right?
so Lori, what showing up, it goes back to showing up is sometimes the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't control the
Yeah.
outcome, but you can show up.
And I showed up for me, right? It wasn't beating other people. It was, I give you permission to be here as the best version of you that you can be here in today. And that's enough. And I'm proud of you. That's the real win.
Oh, that 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lori, congratulations. Okay, wait. So, how were you like, okay, so you made the decision, you're like, you go through that process. No, I'm breaking this cycle. I am showing up
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way I am today.
Mhm.
You're I mean, obviously, there can be nerves just regardless.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
walk us through that day. Like, were you saying
Yeah.
to yourself, like, just in general, "I can't believe I'm here." Like, this is a huge deal.
Yeah, yeah. And well, the other thing I'll throw in there was that I was originally competing in the 5K. That's my race. That's the race I've done for ever since, I haven't been on the track in 35 years.
Wow.
So, but I've been running road races of all kinds since then. And that was what I was going to do. I know it inside and out. I know the pace. I know exactly what, to do and what's expected. And then about a week before the event, I found out that because my husband and I, he's doing it as well. But he's a sprinter. And so we were planning on, if you qualify here in Colorado, you get to go to the national games next year. And that's what I call the Olympics, because the national games is everybody who qualified in their state meets at a different place every 2 years. And so it's that's really what I'm considering the Olympics, the
Oh,
nationals. But you have to qualify in your state. So I we were just
is this considered you I mean, you're gold. Is that a
yeah,
qualification? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
qualified.
Right. Yeah. So you qualify, you have to be in the top 4 of your event. So, so I looked at the schedule for the national games next year, and I found out that my 5K race, because it's a road race, not a track race, is on the first day of the event. And the track races, his event would be on the last day. And that's 11 days apart. We are not going to Tulsa for 11 days. I would have to go, come back,
Right,
go
right.
like, it just and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, "Man, that doesn't sound like, what we were
Yeah,
thinking about." I said, "Oh, I wonder, maybe I should do the 1,500, which is the longest track race that there is." My gosh, I haven't done the 1,500 in 35 years. It's so fast, and I'm not trained at all. Oh, I don't know, but I really don't. Okay, I'm gonna do them both. I said, "I'm gonna do them both." And I'm like, "That's insane. That's literally insane. You cannot do them both. You have to choose." So I'm like, "All right, it makes more sense. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna I'm gonna compete in the 1,500, even though, I'm not trained." And not only am I not trained, I don't know the pace.
oh,
And you can't wear on the track, you can't wear your music. You
oh,
can't have your phone. Like, I was just like, all these things. I'm like, this is not. So was I nervous? Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how nervous I was, and how it brought back, oh, so many memories of the pressure that I put on myself. Because when I lined up, it wasn't my running that was on the line, right? It was my worth. And I would say this honestly, I never had a race when I was young that I was like, "Oh, yay," at the end. I was like, "Oh my god, I did this wrong, and I should have been, doing this, and why did I let that? And I just should have pushed hard." Like, I could never be okay with my result.
I do that now after my tennis matches.
Ah, yeah, yeah, and it was
If I
success.
win, I'm like, "Oh my god, my forehand sucked. My forehand is my money.
Right.
My
Yeah,
forehand sucks." And the rest
right. Yeah, well, that's just a pattern, right? And that was my pattern.
Yeah,
Because if I could get, good enough, if I could be the best, then I would be safe. And that was how I thought I was going to get there, was by being, critical and frankly mean to myself.
I know. That's the thing, like, I'm a great doubles tennis player. I would never talk to my doubles partner the way I talk to myself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
would. Like, no one would play with me if I would.
Right.
I'm not joking. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like, it's not good. Wait, so I wanna specify. The gold medal you got was for the 1,500, not what you have been training for.
Correct. Yeah.
Lori,
Yeah. Yeah. It was a
if
good day.
that wasn't a major lesson,
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, oh my god, congratulations. That is spectacular. I'd be wearing my medal everywhere. You're like Serena Williams. I am obsessed about my girl being back.
All right.
Oh my god, obsessed. I mean, you're like
I
her.
love it too.
Yeah. I mean, wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. And the lessons, and again, the I would have won regardless of what happened, because I really did, you know, look back and see these things and understand. And even now, right? And this goes back to what we were talking about, where did you learn things about yourself, when you were writing the book? And that's why I really say, we're never done. I had this little thing, hanging out in the background here, and it took this event to bring it out and to show me, that there's still one way where I was not being supportive necessarily of myself, or feeling like, and I'll say it this way, feeling like my safety. still rest in my performance. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to win. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with
Oh, no.
doing these things. That's not the problem. The problem is where your worth is tied to it.
You are not the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Lori, that
Yeah.
is spectacular.
Yeah.
Okay, before I let you go, I do wanna touch on you have, a weekly readers group.
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
what that is all about.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this group because, I have been reading self-help books, my whole life. And I, have been working with people for 15 years, and I know that books that ask something of you, they usually end up collecting dust on the nightstand, you
I'm
know.
laughing, I'm literally, like, thinking about what's on my bedside table right now, yes.
Yeah, and I've got them too, and
Got them all.
the rare exception of when I have really dedicated myself and really set aside, made a schedule and done all the things, it's you get a lot and something might be good material, but you're not going to engage with it at the level that it can really help you. And I know that, right? So my reader circle is a weekly group where all of us gather, everybody who's reading the book, and the group is there for you to continue to keep you consistent, to keep you coming back. We all speak the same language. We're having experiences weekly when, we're applying what's in the book, and we're supporting each other, and we're staying committed. And I think it's a really important part of, if the book is going to be helpful, there needs to be the support that goes along with it.
It's consistency, it's like anything.
Yeah. 100%.
Diet, it's consistency. You can't, it is really I'm really learning as I continue to work on goals and stuff. The it's the secret. It's not even a secret. You
Right.
I mean, it's not even a secret, but it's just you just have to get so is that via Zoom?
Yes, we're
Okay,
gonna
okay,
be,
so
yeah,
yeah,
from anywhere, from everywhere. It's 5 o'clock on, Mondays, Mountain Time, and our inaugural meeting is going to be August, 17th, so we're getting it, ramped up, and
I
we're
love
really
that.
gonna open those doors, and in the meantime, letting as many people know that it's here. If you're reading a page a week, awesome.
Right.
That's you know?
That's why I was just gonna ask, can people are like, I don't want people to feel scared, like, "Oh, some will probably go into this date, August, and have already read the book." Some may have
Mhm,
just
mhm.
got the book, but is your message to everyone, "Just come, just show up." Doesn't
Absolutely.
matter where
It's
you
the
are.
enrollment is open all the time. So there will be somebody who's maybe reading it for the 3rd time, and
Yeah.
somebody who hasn't even gotten their copy in the mail yet. And that's, that's totally fine. We're just here to, like I said, we speak the same language. You know what I think of the group? I think of, remember back in the day, this doesn't happen anymore, but when we used to go up to pay, there'd be a little dish there that said, with of pennies, and said, take a penny, leave a penny, right? And
Yeah.
that's what the group is like. Sometimes you're going to receive something, that somebody left. And sometimes you're going to give something, but we're all in it together. And to have the support, the encouragement, the guidance, we'll be answering questions. We'll be working with the book, but you don't have to do it by yourself.
I love that, and I think that is so important, and everyone needs help. Everyone needs coaches, professional athletes. Everyone needs a coach. It's okay. It
Absolutely.
doesn't mean. I mean, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. Okay, so Lori, so where can people find you to sign up? Well, let's. I know I'll be in the show notes, but let's tell people now. Where can you go find the book? Where can you sign up for this? I mean, we got to do all the things.
Yeah, everything is on the website.
Okay.
So, the link for the book, the reader circle, you can learn more about it. And there's also a lot of resources there as well. That was something that really got me started. I didn't think I was worthy of investing in myself, so I devoured free resources. And so I always said to myself, that's going to be something that's really important to me. So,
Oh,
website is home base for all of that.
oh, I love that, and that's LoriMontry.com.
You got it.
LoriMontry.com. Lori, it was so fabulous chatting with
Mhm.
you again. Okay, so everyone, go out and buy You Are Not the Problem. This is the first book. We're going to learn the tools, okay? And then Lori is feverishly writing book number 2 to really what did you say? It's to really learn about ourselves.
Yeah, it's called Becoming You.
Oh,
It's
becoming you.
yeah, just what we were talking about. What do I believe about me as a mother? What do I believe about me as, who the heck am I?
Is there a target date for when that launches?
You know what? One of the things that I learned in writing the first book
Yeah.
is that deadlines are evil,
There you
and
go.
I won't do it to myself again.
Yes, I remember. Good. Good for you. Good for you.
It'll be ready when it's ready.
I love
I
that.
I want it, but you know what? This first book is me, and it's going to take a minute. So
Yes.
there's nobody out there who needs the second book right now, because we need to digest book one
I
first.
I like that you're doing it this way because again, me all or nothing is it's like I want it all at first and then I get so overwhelmed, then I do
Yeah,
nothing.
that's exactly
Literally.
me. Yeah,
Yeah. So I like the idea for me personally and my ADD or whatever. Just doesn't even matter. You have to put a label to it. Yeah, let's focus on one thing. Let's learn the tools. I like that.
so important for me. I know.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm
Well,
trying to walk my talk here.
well, you are such a beautiful human inside and out.
Mm,
You're a gold medal winner. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
So now we're getting ready for Tulsa.
We're getting ready for Tulsa. We're getting ready for the Olympics. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming on here and announcing this. I feel so honored. I am so excited.
Oh yeah.
And just again, I thank you for your authenticity, your grace, your bravery. I just really believe I always learn something and I always get inspired with every conversation we have. And so I know others will too, and especially with the book, and I can't wait. And most likely I'll be seeing you in August on these Zooms. I'll be the one in the middle, like waving.
Yeah. Oh, I sure hope so, because the time with you is such a gift,
Oh,
and I really appreciate you and your show. I mean, it's one of the best places out there, and I love listening is even more than I love participating. So thank you for that.
well, thank you so much. And obviously, come back anytime. We got to continue. We got to have an Olympics update. We got to have a book 2 launch. I mean, this is just the beginning of our relationship, whether you want it or not.
If I can
Much
make a
love.
request,
Yes.
I would love to interview you after your next competition.
Oh my God. I just got
Thing?
done. Done. And it's moved up a month. And so absolutely, I'd be honored.
All right,
Just
perfect. Because
the
there's so
whole
many questions that I wanted to know after last time. So that way I'll have the chance to ask them.
Oh, I would love it because yes, and different things are coming up. Like
Hmm.
this time, like I sometimes feel like ignorance is bliss, but is better for me. Almost knowing too much now is very interesting. What's coming up in my head? So yes,
Yeah.
oh, I would love to. I'd be honored.
Yes. And you gotta keep keep track of all of these things for us, because you are learning so much.
You're
We
right.
need to learn from these. So now that I'm going to ask you all about them, you can take a couple minutes and just voice record them, and you can go back.
I will because I meant to journal. Of course, this is again, I'm all or nothing. I meant to journal my process whole last year. I did like a Google Doc and I did like 3 entries and then I'm
Yeah.
done. But I like the voice.
Of
That's
course, yeah. We just gotta make it work for you. That's all. You're on your way to the grocery store. "Oh, I just thought of this thing." And then we'll have it all in one place, then you can review it.
oh my
Just
God, Lori.
make it work for you.
See, I always learn so much. Yes, count that as a date. So,
Okay, I can't
all right,
wait.
you enjoy the rest of your day and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye. And that's it for this week. If this episode made you laugh, nod, or think, oh my God, same, hit follow, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs it. You're not done. You're just getting started. So go take up space fully, loudly, joyfully. And remember, midlife isn't a crisis, it's a plot twist. See you next time on Now What?